Hey everyone. Hey Karen. I never know if we should turn our cameras off or not, so I can turn mine off. Okay. Okay, thank you. And it looks like, do we have quorum? Trying to decide. I'm not sure if we do quite yet. Is that true, Karen?
But Karen, technically, Stephanie has gone off the board.
Yeah. Perna, was there anyone else that you heard from today that should still be joining?
I'm pretty sure that Scott was planning to join. And new board members, I'll be reaching out with some additional information about orientation. And Kristen just joined us, so I do believe we are at quorum.
Okay, great. Thank you, Audrey. Well, good evening, everyone. And Antonia cannot be in attendance tonight, so she asked me to host the board meeting. So I'll stumble through as best I can here, but we'll get going. But so first, I'll just call the meeting to order now that we have quorum. So thanks, and thank you for pulling the agenda up. So first order of business, approval for tonight's agenda. Do we have any comments or considerations for any additions or subtractions? Do we have a motion to approve tonight's agenda?
So moved. This is Scott Redenbaugh.
Thank you, Scott. We have a move. Is there a second?
Hi, this is Kristen. I second.
Thanks, Kristen. And so let me just make, and I guess for housekeeping, if those could mute their mics if not talking, just for we avoid the background noise. But we'll go through here, and I'll just look at the people on my screen. Stephen,
Steve.
Steve, yes. Do you vote yay or nay on the motion to approve? Or,
Yes.
thank you. And Stephanie?
Aye.
And Holly's next on my screen.
Aye.
Scott?
Aye.
Scott? Thank you. And Kristen?
Aye.
And let's see. Am I missing anyone on my list here? Sorry if I am. Keep me honest, Perna or Audrey. All right, we'll move with pass then. So next order would be introduction of new members. So sorry to just cut over everybody there as we were doing the voting, but I wanted to introduce Steve, Holly, Stephanie, and Rowie, but it sounds like Rowie won't be able to join until closer to 5. So maybe just open it up, Steve, first. If you have any comments, welcome to the board.
Thanks. Glad to be here. I teach at Winona State in their master's in leadership program and in their doctoral program. And I actually, in full disclosure, have a library degree. I've worked mostly in school libraries. I've done a little work at the university level. This is really my first time working in a public library. So.
Great. Thanks, Steve. Yeah, welcome again. Next on my screen, Stephanie.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. Stephanie Podolki. I'm representing the Olmsted County Board here, but I also have some of my best friends are librarians. So I also did the pond window in the children's library on the main floor. So that's my other job, is stained glass. And this is very nice to be on your board. Thank you.
Thank you. And Holly.
Hi, everyone. I'm Holly Masick. I'm the Executive Director of the Rochester Downtown Alliance. Obviously, the library is very central to downtown, and one of the first things I did when I moved here was get a library card, and I was so delighted by the options at this library. And like Stephanie, some of my best friends are librarians too, from college, and I grew up going to public libraries, and they've always been a big part of my life. So I'm really excited to be involved with this organization.
Yeah, thanks so much. We're really glad to have you. All right, and I guess we can come back to Rowie unless he's joined, but it looks like he hasn't joined yet again. No. All right. Well, next order is obviously to thank the outgoing board members, and we didn't have the opportunity at the December meeting because of, if I recall correctly, there was a tornado coming, which is why we had quickly moved through that meeting agenda. So it looked like if Stephanie, I saw for sure, is on the meeting.
Yep,
Stephanie, we want to
to
thank you for your time and dedication to the board over the last few years. Do you have any comments outgoing? Maybe just remind everybody again of how long you served on the board and in various roles.
Yeah, sure. So I've been with the library board since, I believe, February or January 2015, so almost 7 years. I've served as secretary, vice president, and president. I've also been on almost, I believe, all of the committees, not only as a member, but as a chair. So I've had my fair share of the full experience on the library board. I've just been extremely grateful and honored to be able to have been a part of the library, even in my role as the library board. I also served on the library board foundation as a crossover member. So I have had the honor of helping with raising funds and getting those out to where they need to be for the library. And I've just been really honored to be able to help the community, not just with providing items for the library, but also the community as a whole. So such as one of my biggest bright spots is the hot spots and the Chrome computers that we were able to get back in June. I believe it was 2016 or 17. I felt like that was such a different thing that didn't think libraries could offer. You know, my world growing up, libraries were for books, and then being able to be part of that really opened my eyes to the abundance of offerings that the library can offer outside of books and movies. So don't let anything be a limitation, because the library here in Rochester is amazing. And I got to be on the board when we won the award. So again, I have just really valued my time. I think one of the things I'm going to take most from this board experience is learning about diversity and equity. I have put equity ever since going through the IDI training and all the toolkit. I have put equity as my forefront of everyday life, not just in my work, but the board. So I want to thank those that gave me the chance to be part of that, because it's definitely something that I'm going to keep going forward with as I advance in my career, as well as my community involvement. So thank you, everyone. I'm going to miss everybody. It kind of feels like an end of a saga, but I have very much enjoyed my experience and my relationships and interactions, and I am here to still see people and talk to people in the community. So thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Stephanie. And I echo what everybody's saying in the comments. Nothing but kudos. I remember when I joined the board, you were president at the time, and I've personally learned so much from you just in getting acclimated to the board, and then also in the personnel committee and a few other committees, being able to learn from you. It's been tremendous. So we wish you well moving forward, and thank you so much for all your dedication over the past few years.
Thank you, Adam, and thank you, everybody. I'm really honored to have been part of the board and to be part of your small roles too. So thank you very much.
Well, it looks like I don't see Jenny, Ken, or Omar in the attendee list. So please speak up if I'm missing you. But thanks for pulling up those certificates of service. That's great to recognize all of them. So hopefully we'll all have the opportunity again to connect with outgoing members, just maybe even outside the meetings, to thank them for their service. It's been great to have them. All right, so thank you. I guess we can move on to the next item, which is the minute review from the last meeting, again, December 15th. So if there's no, and yeah, so here's the minutes here.
Yep. And Adam, you'll want to ask for the whole consensus agenda rather than making individual motions. You can ask for the whole thing.
Okay, thank you, Audrey. All right. Do we, Audrey, and again, to remind me, do we need to approve the past minutes as well?
We do. So if you want to ask for a motion to approve the consensus agenda.
Great. Do we have a motion to approve the consensus agenda?
I would will move to approve the consent agenda.
Thanks, Steve. Do we have a second?
Second, Scott Redenbaugh.
Thank you, Scott. All right. Do we need a vote as well? Sorry, Audrey.
We do, yeah.
So vote, I'll start over again on my screen. Even though Scott, you motioned, I'll start, or Steve, excuse me, you motioned. Start with you.
Aye.
And Stephanie.
Aye.
And Holly.
Aye.
Scott.
Aye.
All right, now my screen has changed here. Sorry. Kristen.
Aye.
And then I think we also have Chloe, and I think I saw Dominic. So Chloe
Aye.
and Dominic, are you on the call as well?
Yep. Aye.
All right, thank you. So motion approved. All right. So next item here we have oh, thank you. So policy committee report. And is Perna taking that one, or is?
Actually, we've jumped over the foundation report. Steve, do you want to pop back to the agenda screen? Yep, there we go. So
Okay.
we have foundation for, yep.
Thanks, Audrey.
Hey, it's Brenda with the Rochester Public Library Foundation. We're getting ready for Wit Wisdom Wine. It is our annual fundraiser. It's completely virtual this year. We jumped back into that mode months ago, and we're really grateful that we did. We have great sessions lined up and experiences for Friday and Saturday. We have about 35 people registered for both Friday and Saturday. Some are attending both days and some are just attending one day. And we've got just a great selection of speakers and experience. Friday night, there's going to be wine and food with People's Food Co-op that people pick up there and then can enjoy at home with the speakers going through it. And Saturday, we'll have cookie and tea with Sato Bakery, John Bewin on Seeing White, if you've heard of Seen on Radio. And then we have a cooking session with Sherry McCurgy. But you can hop over to rplmn.org/WIT to look at the program, and we'd really appreciate your support if you can attend.
Thank you, Brenda. Does anybody have any questions for Brenda on the foundation report? All right, no, thanks again. How about Friends report? Who's giving that tonight? Do we?
I can
Have a
jump in.
report? Okay.
This is Audrey, and the Friends have decided to move their February sale into March because of the Omicron. So we appreciate their flexibility in doing that, since it caused some challenges to have extra people in the building. But we, so that is still going on. They're continuing to, the bookstore continues to be open, and they're continuing to do online sales. So a great group of volunteers.
Thanks, Audrey. And Selco report.
I can just give an update. It's pretty simple. We haven't had a meeting since our last Rochester Public Library meeting, so there's nothing really to update. We have another one tomorrow, or sorry, next week.
Okay, thanks, Scott. And youth representative report. Chloe or Dominic, would you like to take that one?
Hi, I'm Chloe. I didn't attend the last youth commission meeting because I was sick, so I didn't want to spread anything. So I don't have anything on my end. I don't know if Dominic has anything.
I guess the only thing I would mention is that youth commission has now gone virtual with the upheaval in COVID cases, and for the most part, we just talked about COVID cases in general and the vaccination rates in Olmsted County.
All right, well, thank you both. Personnel committee is next, and I can certainly take that one. Major updates at this point are just more to keep the board aware as we are in the process of selecting the next library director with Audrey's upcoming retirement. So the candidates have gone through first round phone interviews with city HR, and then actually just yesterday and today we completed what I would call the formal first round interviews, which were in person, held virtually for a variety of candidates. So candidates are going to be going to for a next round to get some more feedback from other members of the city, and then we'll continue to debrief and talk about the candidates over the next few weeks. So the goal would be to bring back a recommended top candidate to the next board meeting in February. All right, I don't know if there's any questions, or we can just go right to policy committee. I think I saw in the chat, maybe Kristen, you want to take that one?
Surely. Hi, everybody. So a couple of months ago, we made updates to about 7 policies, the ones that are listed there. And for the most part, those policies were either made clearer or just, shorter and succinct and more to the point, and just updated language and things like that. So I would like to give a very big thank you to Heather and Beth and the Welcoming Committee for doing such great work with getting these policies updated and ready and for review and everything. So They put in a lot of good work, so I'm very, very happy with everything and just very appreciative. So we're also rescinding 2 policies. I believe one of them was the former internet policy, and I forgot the other one. I'm so sorry, but there are 2 to rescind. So I believe they're the 7 that are listed there are ready for board approval to be put into place. So yeah, a lot of good work has been done. After these 7 are approved and the other 2 are rescinded, I believe there are 2 more policies to work on, and they're pretty hefty ones, so that'll be a lot of work, but there's 2 left, so that's very much exciting. Yes, thank you for putting them back up. So the 2 we're rescinding are the internet data retention policy and the wireless policy, because they were joined all in one in the new internet policy. Heather, did I forget anything? I think I summed it up okay, but please let me know if I...
Perfectly, thank you.
No problem.
All right. Does any members of the board have questions for Kristen or Heather on the updated policies?
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
First, I have a sort of a general question, if that's okay. As I go through the packet, if I do have questions, does the staff prefer us to wait for the board meeting, or would you prefer to us email somebody ahead of time and say, hey, could I ask for clarification about? I don't know what you're.
Yeah, either is appropriate, but I'm always happy to answer questions ahead of the meeting.
I mean, my experience is normally. I'm sorry, go ahead. And then the second piece is just on the trespass policy. The very last sentence of there says after trespass notice has been resolved. Sorry, the Fresh Start policy. Shouldn't it be if the trespass notice has been removed or repealed? Because it could be resolved that it stays in place.
Well, I think the meaning of that sentence is that it's either been the year, so they've either served the trespass, or it's been rescinded, or some other thing has happened to it. So there are like numerous ways it could be resolved.
Okay. I didn't know there was like a 1-year limit. I was unclear there, so.
Well, and I should clarify too, we've recently started to offer, maybe a 30-day trespass, or so it can be any length of time, but yeah, there's multiple ways to have a resolution to it.
Okay.
And this is Audrey, and I'm just going to put a little bit of context around this conversation for the new board members. So back in June of 2020, the library board committed to reviewing every single library policy with an equity lens. And so, as Kristen mentioned, there are only 2 left. So we hopefully will make that goal that the library board set back in June of 2020.
Yeah, thank you, Audrey. There's been a lot of work over the last few years in getting through these policies. Looks like Heather, do you have your hand raised?
Yeah, I'm sorry, before when I talked, I forgot to introduce myself. I'm Heather Acero, Head of Youth Services, and I've been working with the Welcoming Committee and Kristen on the policy work, which has been a lot of fun and a lot of challenge. The 2 that we have left are the meeting room policy, which is nearing completion, and then the privacy and confidentiality policy, which we are seeing is actually going to be a really extensive one. It's going to require a lot of work, but I do think we can make that 2-year goal.
Thanks, Heather. Any additional dialogue about that last sentence of the Fresh Start policy, or are we comfortable with the word resolved? I think with the explanation, Heather, it sounds like it can probably remain. So of all these updated policies that have been reviewed, do we have a motion to approve endorsement of the updates?
Hi, this is Kristen. That's my own name. I said it wrong. I motion.
Thanks, Kristen. In a second.
Well, I don't have a lot of experience with all the revisions, but I will second the motion.
Thank you, Stephanie. So we'll vote again in the same order I have, but we'll start with Steve.
Aye.
And Stephanie.
Aye.
And Holly.
Aye.
Scott.
Aye.
Kristen.
Aye.
Chloe.
Aye.
And Dominic.
Aye.
All right, motion approved. Thanks, Kristen and Heather, for all the work on that. All right, the next piece, committee assignments. So again, more for maybe the new members, but every year the board president takes a look at assignments for the last year, and then preferential assignments moving forward, really more of requests from individual members of things that they're interested in, and then also looking at just an overall equity lens from who's been involved in what over the last few years and where can things be moved. So I know Antonia has requested that people send them their top 1 to 3 choices over the next few weeks. I was rereading that note again earlier today, Perna. Is there a deadline that Antonia was shooting for to get the information back from board members? Or should we just say get it back within the next week or so here? I don't know if Perna's able.
That would be great.
Okay.
I think a week deadline would be really helpful.
Okay, great. So yeah, if everybody could just shoot for a week from today to get that information back to Antonia and include Perna, that would be tremendous. All right.
I just have a question. If I already sent it to Perna, do I need to send it to Antonia as well?
I'll say no.
Okay.
Perna's fantastic, and she'll be able to compile everything.
Okay.
All right, so we can move on to, it looks like we're skipping new business and going right to old business, no new business today, but the 2022 Foundation Endowment Allocation Recommendation. This is the board reviewed the foundation, and so we have it here. I don't know, Audrey, do you have any additional information or context?
Yeah, we looked at our existing budget for 2022 and looked at where we really have gaps and where we know we need to continue to improve. So the foundation, there is a requirement that some of the money, because of how it was designated, continues to need to go toward materials. So that's, you will see that in every single foundation allocation. Community engagement, we know we can, if we're going to continue our equity work, community engagement is really important. So we need to keep working on that. The social worker project, I had sent out that article that showed some of the press we've been getting on it. And this is a project that is currently grant funded. So it is not currently in our operating budget. So we need some ongoing support there to make sure that continues. And really, we know coming out of COVID, we're going to have programming. We're really looking at how we do all of our programming. And so we know that there's going to be some innovation as we look at how we come back and do more in-person gatherings. The pandemic has certainly shown us that digital equity continues to be an issue in our community. We've certainly done things with the Chromebook program and the hotspot program. We've partnered with IMAA on some things as well. So we know we need to keep working on that. And then materials for the new locker collection. So as part, we're putting the locker/vending machine out into the community early in 2022. And so this funds some of the collection for that. And the book bike has been off the road for a couple of summers, and we need to refresh that collection. So that's the how we're recommending that the foundation endowment money is allocated in 2022.
Thank you, Audrey. Does anyone have any questions on the foundation endowment allocation for this next year? I was going to say next year, but this month's almost over already. So, Holly,
Can
do
you
have a
can you
question?
brief the new board members just a little on how this process works on an annual basis, or if it is annual?
It is an annual basis. What happens every year is the foundation is a separate 501c3, and their finance committee looks at the endowment fund and makes a recommendation on how much of that they're willing to give to the library, and they have policies around that as well. And then we work jointly with them and with you to come up with the highest priority projects based on our strategic plan and where the foundation board wants to to allocate that money. So, but it's really ultimately up to the library board to decide how that money is spent. But it is an annual process, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions for Audrey on the allocation?
The other thing I would like to add is that the money from the foundation is not considered operating funds. It's really about how to get us to that next level of excellence. So we'll do pilot projects like the social worker project with them, but we would never look to the foundation for that to be funded on an ongoing basis. We have to prove that it works and then find funding elsewhere.
Got it. So these are additive projects, not filling gaps in an operating budget.
Exactly.
Got it.
Exactly.
All right, thanks everyone. So we would need to look to approve, or if the board approves the allocation. So do we have a motion to approve?
Steve
This is Kristen.
Ball. Oh, go ahead. I'll second you then.
Very good.
Thank you. This is Kristen. I motion.
All right, thanks, Kristen. Kristen with the motion and Steve with the second. So maybe we could start with the voting again. I'll start with Steve.
Yes.
And Stephanie.
Aye.
Holly.
Aye.
And Scott.
Aye.
And Kristen.
Aye.
And Chloe.
Aye.
Dominic.
Aye.
And now that Rowie's joined, do you have a vote?
Aye.
Thank you. All right, motion approved. I think at this time I'll jump back quickly just for the introduction of Rowie, and hopefully I'm saying your name correctly. Please correct me if I'm not, but maybe if you just have a brief few minutes here to introduce yourself.
Sure. Yeah. Well, good evening, everyone. My name is Rauhi Saeed. I am one of the newest board members, and first and foremost, I want to apologize. I was on before we started, but I had an email last second that needed my attention at work, so I jumped off, and I'm back here now at 5. But I work at the Mayo Clinic. I am the program director for diversity, equity, and inclusion for the Office of Education. And I'm very excited to be here. I'm still learning, but the library is near and dear to my heart because it's something I used growing up in this community, and so it means a lot to be able to pay it forward and pay it back. So thank you.
Well, thank you so much. It's very happy to have you as part of the board. All right, next item is on the ECF grant for Chromebook distribution. Is that one that Audrey?
Sure, I can. So as you recall, we had 1,000 Chromebooks to distribute. As of today, we're at 715 that have been distributed. The really good news is we saw a big uptick in the last week as our RPS learners went virtual. So we've been working with Rochester Public Schools to get more of them into kids' hands. But the more you can help us get them into people's hands, we would really appreciate it. So we still have a couple hundred to give out, and help us spread the word. We would love to get them in people's hands. The requirement for the grant says we have to check it out to them. They have that Chromebook with the Wi-Fi access through June 30th. So we'll actually check it out to them. And they just have to attest that they're using it primarily for educational purposes, but that does not necessarily mean K-12. That is not, and you can have more than one per household. And so it could be any learner at any age. So we appreciate your help in helping us get all of them distributed.
Thanks, Audrey. And maybe just a quick question, maybe more for Karen, but what's the current marketing or advertising for this and other future plans to get the word out? Great, thanks, Karen. Any other questions from the board, or should we move on to the next informational item, which is the gift fund? And maybe Audrey or Perna?
Sure. So I know this is like a little nit, but this has been a nit for years. And I really want to give a shout out to City Finance for helping us problem solve. Every year during the city's audit, we would get dinged because there would be years where we would spend more out of the gift fund than we took in. And that happened just because of the way the money flows into the gift fund. There is not a set amount every year going in or out. And we were able to solve that this year. So it's just a minor win that I just had to share, because honest to God, we've been dealing with this for decades. So it was a great collaboration.
And Audrey, can you provide a bit of background? The gift fund, is that funds coming directly from the community?
So it could come from any source. So it could be where the money from the foundation, for example, gets transferred into the gift fund. Money given from the Friends of the Library goes in there. Grants go in there. Gifts directly from, because of the city, the library board has a policy around undesignated gifts that are given to the library go to the foundation. So there's not a lot of just general gifts in there. Selco, there's some grants we get from them that goes through there. There's some Minitex dollars that go through there, which is the for some resource sharing dollars that go through there. So basically, if it's coming from any other source, it goes through that gift fund.
Thank you. Any other questions from the board? All right, hearing none, we can go on to the next informational item, which is the equity plan update.
So the equity plan was attached. If there are any questions, what I'd really love to give a shout out to is we have been working very closely with City IT and City HR in doing better about having preferred name. And I'm super excited about that. That's, I think, big progress for changing systems to better respond to not just requiring legal name every time and respecting what people's preferred name. So that's, it's a big step for us as an organization because it's being done citywide. So we have a project plan and things are really coming together.
Any questions from the board or input on the 2022 plans? And I think the addition of all the new members, and I'm thinking specifically of Rowie, but just with all the equity focus, it'd be great to, if there's any feedback.
Not at this time, and I'll be honest with you all. I'm still going over a lot of these things and familiarizing myself with the library. So this is pretty exciting, actually, and I'm glad that this is a topic of discussion for the library.
All right, great. Thanks, Audrey. And next item here is the value of donated materials. So I don't know if everybody had a chance to see it before the meeting, but quite a high value there. Audrey, how does this compare to prior years?
It's if you look at the bottom of page your packet 102, it does show comparisons from previous years. So, and considering that we didn't take donations last year, it's still kind of amazing that we got as high as we did. So, Kim, do you want to jump in?
Sure, I'm happy to. For those who are new to the board, the process for handling the donations is thus: the donations come into the Friends of the Rochester Public Library. They sort them, and provide to library staff things that meet our criteria for possible inclusion in a collection. As somebody who manages the fiction collection, I really rely on this resource. It's been hard because we haven't received donations in the last year, not formally, not officially. I think it was just really recently because we didn't have a place to put them. And just in a few months, this is how much we were able to add for this year. I think everybody's excited to see those resources coming back. And again, you can see over time how the donations compare. I think the first time we measured this a million years ago, it was very similar to what it is today, but the Friends have gotten more efficient. So over time, we've gotten to those really big numbers when our community is being really responsive to us.
All right. Thanks, Kim and Audrey. All right. I think we're moving to the last item now, but the demonstration of the library app. And Steve, is this something that you were going to take?
Yeah. Let me bring up my virtual device here. One moment. So we launched this app, I guess, November of last year, and kind of looking at the latest download stats. I'm seeing that it's been downloaded over 2,000 times, so that's pretty good for basically two and a half months. But we partnered with our integrated library software vendor, Cersei Dynex. They had been providing this as an option for libraries to provide a really useful app for patrons. So you can see on my screen here, this is kind of the Apple version of it. The Google version is very similar. And if you haven't downloaded this already, the best way you can actually search for it in both stores. Just search for RPL MN, and it'll be unique with our branding in there, so it's easy to identify. But some of the features here, obviously you can search our our catalog and place holds on materials right from here. There's several kind of I call them book fountains that get generated dynamically, so you can kind of browse through the book covers and place holds and check item statuses from here. This is a feature that's kind of interesting. Let's say you're at a friend's house or something, and they have a book, and you wonder if the library has it. This won't work in my virtual phone, but you can actually scan the ISBN barcode, and it will check our database to see if it's something that we have here in the library. Basic information, library info. My account, that's a great way to manage. I've got a fake patron here, but you're able to kind of manage your checkouts, see the status of your holds. If you have multiple family members that you if you have kids that you want to be able to manage their account, this is a way that you can link to their account and easily switch and manage their holds and see what they have checked out. Variety of languages supported, and also this can be your virtual library card. So this can be used as self-check or at a staff checkout. Several other things that are on here are links to like our social media feed, current news, and what's going on as far as events. And that's about all I had. If anyone had any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Thanks, Steve. That's very cool. And as one of the 2,000 people that have downloaded it, I would say it works very well.
I just downloaded it while you're talking. I'm very excited.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks.
This is Kristen. I was just going to echo what Adam said. I downloaded it a while ago, and it's pretty awesome. So I'm very excited about it.
I gotta say, as a person who likes convenience, I'd rather have my library card on my phone than in my pocket. So that's really neat.
All right. Well, I think those are all the formal agenda items for tonight. So maybe before we close, again, I would just welcome the 4 new members that we have. It's great to have you as part of the board moving forward. And again, to thank Stephanie for her time and commitment and dedication over the last few years in her positions. But with that, we can close the meeting. All right. Thank you, everybody. Have a great rest of the evening, and
Have a good night, everyone.
talk to you all in a month.
Good night.
Thank you.
Good night.